You're listening to the most fraudulent F1 podcast with Dan, aka Engine Mode 11.
I secretly moonlight as Helmut Marko at race weekends.
And Blake, aka Brrrake.
Echo chambers of farts and idiots on Twitter after races.
It's the Engine Breaking F1 podcast.
Good day, mates. Topical intro. Australian preview, episode 20. We've done it. 20 episodes in. Who would have thought it? Not me.
Not me. I thought, honestly, bro, we're getting to like 5 episodes and we're going to be like, you know what? I can't be asked to turn on my computer. Yeah, I can't be asked to turn on my computer. But anyway, we're here. We're here
and we're still smashing records. Boom. Episode 19. Most downloaded so far. You lot get yourselves a little... Thank you very much for your support. If you're here from day 1, if you're here from 10, if you're here from noon today, I don't give a shit. Appreciate your support. All that jazz.
Welcome. Now I'm surprised, but I'm happy, and we're here with a little Australia preview episode. And if you're new to the podcast or the stream, welcome. My name is Blake, aka Brrrake, and this is Dan, aka Engine Mode 11, my famous internet Twitter husband. So how's everybody doing? I hope you guys are great. We've got a little Australia preview show. We've just hit daylight savings time, so it's still light outside, so I'm a little bit thrown off. So if something happens weird, it's because of the sunlight. But what do we got in today's episode? We got a little bit of news. I threw together some Australia stories from the last couple of years, maybe some personal anecdotes from travel experiences, and just what's the Australian Grand Prix been like for the last, I don't know, like 8 years or so. Then a little Australia preview. Then we're going to get into random fandom drop because, well, we're biased. So we've been forced to go out and be nice to other teams, or at least give them honest feedback. So we're going to do that today. But any other housekeeping for anybody new here?
I think that's it, isn't it? I'll tell you what, if anyone's new here, and if anyone's returning, you'll be pleased to hear that the air horn button has been removed.
I saw so many comments on Twitter. They're like, there's no way you're using that air horn. That is terrible. Remove it, please.
I may have been a little bit sick and hungover from dodgy corner shop meatballs that I purchased last week. But we're all good. We're back to normal.
Okay, but the air horn's gone. Do we have something else?
Yeah, but it's a surprise.
Okay, so I guess when you know, and if you see it in the comments, leave a comment on YouTube when you found it, just so everybody else can find it. So why don't we get into the news? What's the first on our news Formula One news agenda, mid?
Well, mid begins with the letter M. What else begins with the letter M? McLaren. Yes, it's the McLaren musical chairs. And fuck me. And yeah, so worst start to the season since 2017. What are they? Pointless, bottom of the table at the moment, 2 races in. It's not looking good.
No, it's I did a little segment thinking where people are like predicting. You're in that video as well. It's coming out, I think, later this week. But it's like predicting who's going to be the best team, the worst team, and the team with the most DNFs. One of our friends had a lot of hope that McLaren would be back, and I was like, "There's no way they can get worse," but they did.
Well, they did significantly, and post Jeddah. Did you see the video where the front wing end plate comes off Piastri's car at the start?
And it smashes over the top. Into Lando's front wing.
It goes over the top of everyone else's car and then just hits Lando's.
That's COD timing. COD timing, bro.
That just sums up their season at the moment. How unlucky.
Ericsson hit us, bro.
Yeah. But
Ericsson hit us.
Post Jeddah, they have decided to part ways with technical director James Key as part of a review. Now we sort of know James Key to a degree because he was the Toro Rosso technical director for 2012?
Yeah, 2012 until 2018. Yeah.
So he's kind of been a bit of the Red Bull family. But yeah, no, he's gone. And by the sounds of it,
It sounds like he got the old. What do you? I guess not a guillotine. That'd be Renault. Yeah, he got the old kibosh
sponsorship
smash.
deal to go away. That's probably more McLaren, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh
Zach
man.
Brown signed a sponsor for him to go away.
Well, I think I need to go back and get another job at McLaren, do a couple years, get locked in, and they're like, you know what, this guy's actually really bad, and then just get paid an absolute sack of cash to get disappeared. But James Key's it's an interesting story because I joined Force India just as James Key had left. I think James Key basically was at the Jordan outfit, which was eventually Midland, Spiker, Force India, blah, blah, blah. But he joined Midland as technical director, and he was one of the youngest TDs at 33, which is far younger than I am right now. 2010, Sauber technical director. 2012, Toro Rosso. And then 2018 until 2023, McLaren. So don't know what he's up to. Wish him all the best, but hopefully, whatever happens, I hope McLaren can make some inroads into finding performance, because whatever they're doing right now is not been particularly effective.
Yeah, my biggest achievement at 33 was probably shit housing on Twitter, to be honest.
Yeah. I think 33 was 5 years ago. I had just downgraded my career from trackside performance engineer to simulator performance engineer because I just was sick of traveling all the time. It's like, would you like to take a pay cut? Like, yeah, whatever. Just get me away from the racetrack.
Yeah, just bung me in a cupboard in a dark corner of the Milton Keynes factory.
Yeah, exactly. Listening to the simulator running, this sounds like just like R2-D2 on crack.
Yeah, the occasional rumble of motors and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And things.
Yeah, but yeah. So what's up with McLaren now? So I mean, this is their worst start to a Formula One campaign and since 2017. So what are they doing?
Well, they're doing the Michael Massey FIA scenario of deciding that they're, instead of having one person take all the responsibilities, they're now going to split it up into a technical committee. Nice little buzzword for you there. To replace the role of technical director.
Is this the meme where you just have Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man and then the team's still crap?
Yeah, I think so, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
And there's another familiar name in here as well to us. And I always fucking mess up saying his name. Peter Prodromou. How do you say it, Blake?
Prodromou,
whatever. Yeah. He was previously of Red Bull.
Yep. Prod, he's called. Prod. Yeah.
There you go.
For short, because everybody else fumbles over it like you and I just did.
Yeah, exactly. I make no apologies for my poor pronunciations of everything. So yeah, big up Peter Prod. Previous Red Bull fame. He's moving into the technical director of aerodynamics role, so that'll be leading the entire aero function. We get David Sanchez. Come on down. He's joining in the January 2024 because he's on gardening leave from Ferrari. He spent the last 10 years at Ferrari.
He's going to have some really nice olive trees or something, isn't he? Then he's going to have to leave Italy and come over here.
Yeah. A year of gardening leave in Italy, in Maranello. Yes, please. I'll take that.
You know what? You know what might happen if we do end up having to drive over to Maranello to drop that letter off? I think I might just stay for a bit, honestly. What do you reckon?
Or maybe we could give David a lift back.
Yeah, sure.
Just get his belongings in the back of a Panda.
Oh, see if James May wants to meet for a nice bolognese and a coffee.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
I think we've got this. This is an unexpected journey. The Hobbit. I'm still on a Hobbit kick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We mentioned David. We didn't actually say what he's doing. He's joining in January 2024 as the technical director of car concept and performance. So instead of making things look pretty, his job is to make things go fast. Neil Holdley, he's already at McLaren, but he's getting promoted to become the technical director of engineering and design. So he's the one that gives them all the nuts and bolts to make it go fast. But as wonderful as this is, it's not the first time they've gone down this route. When do you think the last time McLaren had a major reshuffle like this?
I want to feel like it was just pre-COVID.
It was in 2018.
Ah.
So what are we, 5 years? And they're already shuffling everyone around again. It's not looking good, bruv.
Yeah. But I guess I've heard a lot of different takes on this because people are like, Zach needs to change, blah, blah, blah. But like, I don't know. Is it Zach or is it something else? Is it, I really can't tell you because I don't know. But it's an interesting thing. But the company, from what I can tell, looks like it's in a better spot, the Formula One team at least. But from a technical and performance point of view, it's kind of been from nowhere to nowhere with varying degrees of nowhereness.
Zach gets a lot of stick, but I actually kind of respect him and rate him because having a team as arse as McLaren at the moment, they are literally tripping over new sponsors getting signed. Like, if Zach is like the perfect used car salesman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he managed to stop Piastri from going to Alpine, who are going to absolutely decimate them this season. He's like, no, brother, you want to come here and drive for me. Meanwhile, the car is in a... Yeah. And this sucks because I know, we know what it's like to work at a team that's doing well. It look like what it's like to be doing a team that's doing bad. So don't get this twisted. I don't take any pleasure in this. I'll tell you if I take pleasure in anything horrible. I'll let you know. But right now, no.
I'm a husband and 3 kids. I don't take pleasure in anything anymore. I think the last time I felt happiness was in 1996 or something. I don't know.
Or was it?
What was it?
Yeah, what was happening in
It's
96?
probably narcotics related.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all that works for me now.
Or the LAN party playing Counter-Strike or something. That's pre-Counter-Strike, wasn't it? Yeah. Anyway.
Big up the Counter-Strike crew.
So, yeah. Hopefully McLaren can turn it around, but it's just like, it's one of those things. Like, and Formula One is so unpredictable because we're looking at, imagine rewind to the end of last year. It's like, right, there's no way Ferrari have reliability issues this year. They're going to figure that out because that's plagued them all season. They've got Fred coming in. They're going to sort it out. Did they? Well, no, they've gone through their allocation of electronics components and whatever else already in its race 2. They're just going to take a penalty whack and then just keep fitting new stuff as they go because it doesn't really hurt that much.
Yeah, but that's an incredibly big brain move from Ferrari to go through your entire allocation within the first 2 races. Think of all the sea freight shipping costs they're going to save now, knowing they can only cart 1 set around.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Is spread. Bravo. Bellissimo.
Yeah, everybody thought Haas was on the 5-head gameplays by going to the small pit wall. Ferrari's like, you know what? We're going to burn all our ESs and CUs early in the season so we don't have to fly them around anymore. Boom. Fred.
Perfect.
Love your work, brother. Love your work, Fred. But anyway, speaking of technical things, let's, does TD039 or Technical Directive 39 ring any bells?
Yes. And this is the part where we put everyone to sleep now because we actually have to talk about technical things.
No, this is not going to be technical. If you're wondering what TD39 was, it was the regulation that said you cannot break George and Lewis's backs in the race car. We're going to have to prevent you from doing that, and we're going to have to put in some regulations to stop you from doing it.
Yeah, the porpoising.
Oh, yes. I see a lot of porpoising emotes in the live stream chat. Let's go.
Yeah.
So what was it?
Basically, it was directive to stipulate the mounting method of the underfloor plank and the skid plates and defining the maximum flexibility of the plank and also the measuring and monitoring of the vertical forces acting on the cars.
Yeah.
Basically, that bit's
there was
porpoising, that's the one.
There was 2 big things. One was the FIA weren't happy that the drivers were being subjected to quite heavy vertical oscillations and loads, which can impact their spine and neck and everything else, and it's uncomfortable and they can't see, and it's not great. This was as a result of the ground effect floor and car stalling. The second part of it was, since we went from 2021, where the cars typically ran quite high rake or nose low to the ground, tail of the car high to the ground, the ground effect cars in 2022, you started running them a lot flatter to the ground at the end of straight. And the FIA got wise to the fact. They were like, why on earth are these people grounding the plank so far back? And they're like, oh, we didn't even make any regulations that stipulated you couldn't ground that much. So they started monitoring that more closely. But it looks like this has been done away with. So we've had a technical change to the rules, which the height of the floor edges have been brought up, and something with the throat of the diffuser, and that was supposed to make porpoising less severe. But it looks like, was it
correct?
Motorsport Italy said.
Yes, the world's most reliable source of all things F1, right? So do with that information what you will.
It is what it is, and it ain't when it ain't. You know?
Apparently it's gone.
Okay. So,
but other people are out there telling us or the internet that it's not gone. They've just removed the bouncing porpoising metric, which would make sense. If as part of this, like we said, it's the mounting of the plank and the skid plates and the whole bendy floors thing was a part of this. I don't think they would just chuck that out all of a sudden.
No, that makes sense, and that's still relevant. You know, like grounding the car quite far back from the leading edge of the plank is still a mode. That's a thing, and they don't want to exploit that. And I think they were just like, you know what, that metric idea was kind of a sticky plaster to deal with what happened in Baku. And it took them a couple of races to execute it. And then throughout the season, from that article, it sounds like they even relaxed the metric at some circuits, like street circuits, like Singapore. So,
yeah, it seemed to be like track dependent, didn't it? Really,
yeah,
depending on the surface of the track, which is something that we theorized. So yeah, who fucking knows what's going on, basically, is what I'm trying to tell you, listeners.
The thing about technical directives is we don't, like, the only time you see a technical directive, it's when a journalist or the FIA publish it. But, like, they could be there and we don't know about some of them either. It's just if people hear about them or talk about them, I don't know where to find technical directives. Right. They usually just get kind of stuffed in. But yeah, so TD39.
Even when I was, I don't know, it's probably the same for you. Even when I was working for a team, fucking half the time I never saw them anyway, even being within a team. So if...
Yeah, they kind of came to like one person, and that person, if they filtered them down, fine. If not, not. But so that's partly gone, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We'll see. I'm sure they might talk about it because people are going to be getting asked a lot of questions about it. And I think that's completely plausible that they would have done away with that one. But let's...
Yeah, Twitter got their teeth into it, ran wild with it.
It was probably one of those super, super awesome copy pasta accounts where you have to look like 7 reply tweets down until they finally cite the article. And they've just copy pasted half the article anyway, which is, yeah, don't do that.
So, yeah, just there you go.
Speaking of Twitter getting their teeth into it, I stirred the pot this morning.
He who stirs the pot should lick the shitty spoon.
Now this is, yeah, maybe. What kind of, like, I'm what are you cooking, man? I don't cook shit. You just have meatballs.
Well,
and you can't be asked to cook.
Yeah, I was cooking the books at Red Bull Catering.
Bro, wow. You got out of there just in time. Yep. So there was a Domenicali.
That's why I have to buy cheap meatballs now.
So there was a quote from the FIA. He's not the president. What is Domenicali? What's his position?
Isn't he like the president of? Is it FIA? He's not FIA. He's FOM, isn't he?
Fine. Okay, that's. I was like,
Stefano, if you're listening, what the fuck is your job?
Anyway, ex Ferrari man, now big boss man. He was at a MotoGP event and he was quoted as saying, "I'm a supporter of the cancellation of free practice sessions, which are of great use to the engineers, but the public doesn't like it." And I've got some thoughts on that. Some of them people weren't too happy to hear, and some of them were not too sure. Where's your head at with this?
Bang, straight into fraud watch jail. He's not on promotion. He's not on probation. Bang, he's straight in.
Yeah.
Like, Stefano, fuck off.
So
get fucked, man.
He is the CEO of F1. Of course I knew that, but it's been a couple days and I haven't had coffee today. So that's Stefano. So here's my thing. And don't get me wrong. I think free practice is important for people to see what's going on. More importantly, it's important for the sponsors and everybody else. It's literally how much money and how much value the television brings teams just for having logos on their cars, showing up on the cars in practice. But free practice sessions bore me to death. And I hate to say it. And I know everybody's like, but I want to watch the race cars. It's like, well, you can watch the race cars, but here's the reality of free practice sessions. Most people just watch the cars going around. They hear the commentators saying the same stuff they do every weekend, and they sit there for an hour not knowing what's going on. They just look at the column on the left and see what the lap times are.
That's because all the commentators are shit, and what they should do is get us to do it.
Well, they did have Bernie Collins last week, which was awesome, which was really awesome. But
true, yeah, big up Bernie.
So here's my thought. Here's my thought of that, because there's no definitive things happening during practice, and that's one of the things I like about the sprint weekend format, right? I think the sprint weekend format is not perfect, it's not great, but I do like it. You have qualifying Friday, you've got a sprint race on Saturday, and you've got a race on Sunday. Something happens every single day, and I like it. They still have free practice 3, which sprint weekend or not sprint weekend, free practice 3 is a throwaway session. It's a shit fight. Like, I get that it's important to make sure the car setup is okay, but people were coming at me like, oh, it's a safety thing. I'm like, please tell me how it's unsafe for people that have never driven tracks before in sprint race weekends to show up, do one practice session, and go straight into qualifying. That's not unsafe. These guys are good. The simulators are not perfect, but they're good enough. And it's a skill gap. You know, if you give everybody enough time to do laps and laps and laps and laps, they're going to get to a certain point. Why do you need to be 100% optimum? You could be 98% optimum after an hour practice session or an hour and a half practice session. But I don't know. Do we need less free practice?
I'm like your Brexit voting granddad or uncle that you hate sitting next to at Christmas dinner. I don't like change, right?
That's okay.
I don't like sprint weekends.
Nobody likes change.
I don't like sprint weekends. I don't like sprint races. I think they're arse. I like my free practice 1 and 2. Free, I don't mind. Okay. I see. Yeah. I can understand your point.
Free practice 3, get them. But like, here's how the sprint weekend would be great. Practice, qualify, sprint race, or practice, qualify for the sprint race, then qualify for the main event, and then do the sprint, and then do the race on Sunday. You've got something happening every session. You have a free practice session, and maybe you can change the car for your second qualifying session. Who knows? Maybe we throw in some gimmicks, reverse grid the sprint. The reverse grid's the biggest heap of crap anyway, but I don't really care. But back to the point, though.
Episode 20, and he's the mask has slipped. He doesn't care. He's out here causing trouble.
But like seriously, like, yeah, free practice sessions are great, but literally the second half of free practice too, after everybody does their qualifying runs, it's literally the cars pounding around lap after lap, and then nobody really has the timing data unless Uncle Steve is sitting there watching every lap of a single car, writing it down to be like, oh, their pace and deg is really good. This is really interesting. It's like cars go zoom, cars go in circle. I happy watch TV, and that's me. That's me when I watch free practice too. But it's like, what if we got rid of at least free practice 3 and added something else? Maybe where you put like gates on the track and you have to drive through them like F1 2022 to upgrade your car.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Please don't do that. But there's gotta be something.
Do the Red Bull Air Race where you put the inflatable gates up.
Yeah, easy.
And then, yeah. I have a solution for fixing sprint races. Okay. Sprint races are pretty dull, right? For one very good reason. And that's because the components they have to use in sprint races also have to be used for the race. All sprint races, you want to stick a new engine in for every single sprint race, fucking do it. Right? You want to stick a new gearbox in just for that sprint race, you can do it. And then at the end, you can swap it to your race set. I don't care.
Oh my God.
If you're going to sprint, you're going to sprint. Don't fucking nurse it around for what? A third of a race. Like, oh, got to watch out for my gearbox or my turbo. Don't want to put any unnecessary wear on it.
My MG8.
I don't know why there's so much echo on that bad boy. George was going through a tunnel on that one.
Exactly, blimey. Yeah, I get it.
Give me my 1200 brake horsepower quality setups only for the sprint.
But I think right now with like okay, that would be awesome. But I think right now the Formula One engines, they can basically do that amount all the time, which is how they've been set up to. But yeah, there's got to be something else. And I'm not saying get rid of all the free practice sessions. I disagree. And I don't think that's what he meant. And if he meant that, he probably wasn't checking the sums to say, we're going to lose a lot of money from ticket sales, from advertising, from this and that and those. Like, that's, I think that quote is a little bit out of context. But as much as I don't like change, something else, like the sprint weekend does have something enticing because there's something definitive. Otherwise, you finish Friday and it's people just speculating complete, absolute bollocks the rest of the night. I'm like, please, I need to perforate my eardrums so I don't have to hear anything else until we qualify. Oh yeah, they're sandbagging, mate. Mate, they're sandbagging. Please, come on. I'm over it.
Come on now.
But yeah, I don't know. We agree we could get rid of free practice 3 though.
Yeah, sure. I will.
But like, I also got told off. It's like, are you saying this as you used to be a race engineer? So this is weird that you'd say. I'm like, yeah, it is. Race engineers would love 5 free practice sessions. They would love that. Do you need 5 of them? No. Or do you need 3? No. Can you make them shorter? Well, they've been making them shorter for the last couple of years. So, anyway. So, I don't think that's what Stefano meant. But I also, I don't know. Let's break it down just in summary.
He was talking about, apparently, obviously we had this quote and it's a little bit, no one really knows where it came from. But also at the same time, someone else has also said that apparently he said he wants to add a competitive nature to it, like give people a point for fastest lap or something in practice.
See, now we're starting to talk about solutions and I'm like, no, that's dumb. But maybe, I don't know, maybe like,
nah, points on a Sunday.
Yeah, but like set something up, some incentive, some buy-in, because just running around. But anyway, But the 2 parts of his quote: support the cancellation of free practice sessions. Dubious. They're great use to the engineers. True. The public doesn't like them. I'm not sure. I think you will find that a lot of people do really like them and they enjoy them, even if it's just cars doing laps. They enjoy the sights, the sounds, the smells, and the narration and the commentary from the TV and just watching the cars pound around. But yeah, what else we got?
Well, bad news, all you Porsche, however you want to say it.
I'm not getting the 911.
You're not getting the 911, and you know who else is not getting the 911?
No.
Anyone in the paddock, it seems, because they've officially given up on their 2026 entry.
Ooh.
So they were obviously in talks with Red Bull and McLaren. Both of those collapsed. Porsche wanted to buy a significant stake. Nobody was keen to sort of do that, which I can understand. I don't think Porsche can have that sort of swag to walk up to a team and say, we're going to buy 50% of you and you're going to carry our badge, sort of thing. That's not how F1 works, I'm afraid, chaps. So yeah, they basically said they've ended their formal evaluation. It's still of interest, but they can't see a way in, so they're just going to focus on their existing motorsport programs, which is their Works Formula E entry and a high-profile return to the top class at the Le Mans 24 Hours as part of the 963 Hypercar project. So there you go. Goodbye, Porsche.
Do they basically just dip in and out of Le Mans every couple of years? Or at least recently, because I'm not following endurance racing for the last 10 years.
They've always had a strong GT car program, but that's more like customer teams and things like that.
Sure.
You'll get some factory-backed drivers in some of them and whatnot. Then they had is it the 919? Sorry, listeners, you probably shouting, you know what it is. Hypercar that they had in LMH or whatever. So yeah. And now they're coming back with the 963 because, you know, we've got Ferrari with their prototype, which looks really nice, actually. I've seen nice photos of it. Yeah, it looks good. So, yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, we're still going to have Audi coming back. So it's like the same group, isn't it?
It's kind of weird how
they're like no, but yes.
brand Like your most prestige brand, Porsche, are now going to have to sit on the sidelines because you've allowed all the Windows salesmen's Audis to get into F1 instead. So big up all of you lot driving your Audis on the motorway to a sales call. I've been there. I feel that pain.
I would love
stop flashing people to get out of the way, you selfish bastards.
I would just love a big beefy V8 Audi wagon, please. Somebody hook me up.
Yeah, the old school RS4 V8s.
This next talking point pisses me off because I'm not very happy about Netflix. And I'm not talking about Drive to Survive. They canceled, what was it, 1989? Or 1899?
I don't know. I never saw it.
They canceled, 1899. It was great. It was basically from the creators that did Dark. And it got one season. They're like, nope, this is not good. We're going to cancel it. And then we keep getting the same Dungeons and Dragons wannabe remakes of the Witcher films and everything else. But Netflix have also decided they want to do a 6-part miniseries on Ayrton Senna.
Yes, they have. And they've even gone as far as to confirm the Brazilian actor Gabriel Leone for the lead role. Again, probably pronounced that wrong. Sorry, mate. Butchered. Sorry, Gabs. The series is going to go by the title Senna, which is nice and imaginative. And it's going to cover his entire professional racing career, starting with his move to the UK in 1981 when he competed in the F1600s, followed by further junior categories in 82, 83, and then his 84 F1 debut with Tolman.
Interesting.
So, yeah, no fucking clue when it's coming out, though, because they're not even started filming on it yet. So no time soon.
Yeah, well, if they do the same thing that they did with all the other stuff they've been rehashing, like they better do a good job. Otherwise, this is going to be a war crime, isn't it? Genuinely.
Yeah, sure. Geneva Conventions.
To clarify, Witcher series, great, but the Blood Origin, whatever they did, that was terrible.
Oh, fuck off. I liked that.
I mean, I didn't hate it, but it was still like the most generic thing. It just blended into every other piece of trash television I was watching with no purpose. Right. I'm like,
that's it. I'm banning everyone out of the chat now who's saying it was bad.
It was, everybody agrees it was crap.
It's my fucking podcast. I'll cry if I
want. Anyway, shall we get on?
Fucking tasteless heathens.
Dude, come on. I mean, it was really generic. It could have been anything. It didn't even have to be Witcher.
I like generic. I don't like thinking when I watch TV, okay?
That's fine. That's fine.
Don't question my fragile existence. I don't want TV shows that make me have to question myself, all right?
Bring 1899 back. That's it.
Ugh. Right, next. Where are we at?
Next,
moving swiftly on. Fuck this shit. Should we have some, do you want a little chat about Australia?
I love Australia.
Do you? Well,
I love
Blake, let's take a little trip. Down the Australian memory lane, baby.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Did you like that?
I did like that. I was wondering what the new audio sound was. That was really great. That reminded me a little bit of
the
Zelda.
air horn died so that could live.
Zelda: A Link to the Past when you go to the healing pool. Similar, not quite the same one.
I don't know. I don't play Zelda. I'm all you fucking kids and your stupid games.
Dude, I miss going to Melbourne so freaking much. It was such a good place to go. Like, it was literally like a 24-hour door-to-door travel experience, which is absolutely ass meat. It's not fun. It's usually stop over in Hong Kong or Singapore, land in Melbourne. The cure for landing in Melbourne was just to take my bicycle and then go pound around Melbourne and get like abused by motorists. They're just like, they've got a huge cycling culture and they also hate cyclists at the same time, which is really, really, really weird.
Yeah, well, you can't cycle now, can you?
No, yeah. Well, no, you could, just not on Thursday at the track during the track walk designated time, which is different because they usually have V8 supercars or Australian supercars going around the track at that point.
Of course they do.
Of course they do. So you can't track walk then.
Those mad cunts.
Yeah, exactly.
Pick up all your Aussies in your sick Statos. That's what they're called. I think that's what
Hilux.
they call them, Statos. No, I think Statos are like V8 saloons or something.
Oh, fine.
Aussie fans, let me know. I'm probably talking shit, but I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that's what they're called.
exactly. But dude, seriously, like, if you want to go to Oz or Melbourne, best coffee, best pastries, amazing food. The people are awesome. I could seriously live there if it wasn't so far away from everything that I know. But this was a cool one. There's a thing that always happens during Saturday and Sunday. There's fighter jet flybys, and if you don't know they're coming, and you're like, like in your temporary tents or in the paddock or in a building, these things rip directly overhead and blow your eardrums out. And I remember once I was taking a piss, and I must have pissed all over myself because it scared the living crap out of me. It happens like on Saturday and Sunday before qualifying the race, but it's like holy, and it is a sight to behold. It is an absolute sight to behold. I miss it.
I never had the fortune of going to Australia.
It's a good one, honestly. If I could be like, hey, dear anybody, I would love for you to fly me out to a race so that we could do content with you. I think Australia would be the one if they wanted to pay for us to come out there. Because let's be honest, I can't afford it. But
No.
we're getting closer, which brings us to.
Hello, it's me again. Just to tell you that we are continuing our deal with NordVPN to give you an exclusive offer. You can get it by going to nordvpn.com/engine to get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan and 4 additional months for free. It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. They have a super simple app that you can use on your phone, your tablet, your PC. And it's something that I've used myself for years, and I've been completely happy with it the entire time. And it's just in time to get around that potential geographical restrictions for F1 TV. Obviously, I can't say you should do that because that's probably illegal, but So yeah, go to nordvpn.com/engine so me and Blake can feed our families. Thank you.
Or we can go to Australia, buy V8 saloons, and do some sick fucking burnouts.
Yes, you know what? I heard of something once from an Australia person that I know. It's not burnouts. There's something called Alani. And it's a thing where you basically pull up on someone's lawn and leave some number 11s in their lawn. And it's called Alani. Can any Aussies...
I like that. Confirm or deny that.
Yeah. Yeah, just do a cheeky Lonnie, mate. All right, yeah, down the road. Yeah, Steve's been a bit of a bellend. Let's go give him a Lonnie. Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, my God.
Aye.
Oh, my God. Is that not a crime?
So, yeah, there you go.
Is that not a crime? I'm sure it's a crime. Yeah, of course it's... I'm not saying do it. I'm saying it's not a thing, but, like, maybe it's something that is similar to toilet papering someone's trees. So, who knows?
Yeah, the Australian version.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't we roll it back? Let's talk now that we're on Melbourne time, Australian life. Let's roll back to the last couple of years. This takes me right back again.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Come on, take us back. Take us back.
Right.
Take us back. Fuck's sake.
I'll do the first one. I'll let you. We'll tag team these. So Australia 2015. It was my first year at Red Bull Racing at the track. I was Daniil Kvyat's performance engineer, and it was kind of a scrappy weekend. Second year of the V8 or the hybrid V6s. We had a electronics failure in the gearbox on the way to the grid. The whole thing basically melted all the wiring inside the gearbox, and it was a shit fight. At the same time, Daniel Ricciardo also had some issues, I believe. I could be mixing this up, but I'm pretty sure Daniel also had issues. They basically had to pull all the bodywork off and cut holes in the heat shields to access a connector to try and plug the gearbox back in. I feel like I've told this story recently, but he finally made it to the grid, and that was my first experience of Australia with Red Bull, and it's kind of a long-standing theme. I don't really have any fond memories of being at the racetrack in Melbourne at all.
Well, there you go. We're not getting invited to fucking Melbourne anytime soon then.
No, I'm a bad luck charm. I'm not a bad luck charm. But speaking of domination, 2015, second year of the V6 hybrids, Hamilton qualifies 1.4 seconds ahead of the next team. Felipe Massa in a Williams, who qualified third. Seb just a few hundreds behind Felipe in the Ferrari. Red Bull, 1.7 seconds off a pole. Hamilton and Rosberg finished 35 seconds ahead of Vettel in the Ferrari. Ricardo in P6 finished a lap down.
Fucking hell.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Teams being able to run away with the championship like that is not ideal. But this is, if anybody's tuning in, you're thinking, yeah, these Red Bulls are really fast and they're annoying. I'm like, yeah, but this is kind of normal. Especially, and this was second year of a regulation cycle. We're on the second year of a regulation cycle. So, yeah. What else we got? Well, tell me about 2016, Oz.
Oh, that was my first.
Yeah?
My first Australia, yeah. And it was the one where we had that fucking stupid bullshit qualifying idea. Do you remember this? It was like a clock that ran down and then you had to, it was so stupid. I can't even fucking remember like the concept of it. I think this was like Bernie's dying sort of gift to F1 before he sort of left, I think, wasn't it? It was like, I'm just going to fuck up qualifying. And it ended up with like no cars on track with the last 7 minutes of Q1 because it was just fucking pointless. And it was like, wow, well, this is bullshit. But
officially, they called it Devil Take the Hindmost, which is very interesting for a naming convention for a qualifying format. But yeah, I remember
is everyone in software being extremely fucking pissed off because they had to redo all their fucking software models and all their tools and things like that for a qualifying format that only lasted in the end 2-3 races.
Yeah, it was so bad. But it was so confusing because you could go out and set a lap, right? And if you weren't on track at the right time, after like 7 minutes to go in the session, they start eliminating cars. And it's like, so you're second fastest when you set your lap and you're just waiting to go again. And then the timer starts counting down, and then everybody gets eliminated, and you're like, "What do we? Wait, what? We're eliminated?" And it was the stupidest, most confusing thing. And the interesting thing about that is, you didn't actually have to have one of those qualifying sessions to know it was a stupid idea. It was a stupid idea. So whoever came up with that one, Bernie, I hope it wasn't you, mate.
Yeah, Bernie Ecclestone. That is. We've got a new Bernie, a much better one now.
Exactly.
And I think that was. Australia 2016 was what session was it? It may have been P3 or it might have been qualifying where Danny Rick lost GPS off the car. And if you watch back the Sky replay of it, there's a radio message where the garage is talking to Danny Rick about losing the GPS. And my claim to fame, ladies and gentlemen, is I was the one that pressed the wrong button and fucked it and broke the GPS on his car.
You dumbass. Absolutely.
So while that message is going out on the telly, which I had it like in one ear, I was just sitting there desperately trying to fix the fucking system to get it to come back up. So yeah, but jokes aside, not having GPS positioning on a car while it's on a live track is actually really fucking dangerous.
Yeah, but what's also good is if you're now on the FIA, you have a camera on that car so you can see where the car is on the track, which the FIA just found about in Jeddah last week after Lance Stroll retired. Bots. But
dear.
So
yeah, there you go.
I don't have any fond memories of Oz. I was on Daniel's car that year as well. We DNF'd with an electrical issues. So that sucks. 2000. No, go on.
Is that not where he DNF'd on the way to the grid?
No, that was the year before. That was the year before. Yeah, that was on the way to the grid.
Okay, yeah.
This one was another electrical issue. So Australia 2017. Guess who made their race debut?
Lawrence Stroll. Big yourself up.
It was Lance, actually, but...
What did I say, Lawrence?
Yeah, his dad.
Well, maybe Lawrence as well. Lawrence made his debut in
he
the
was
pit
probably
lane.
Yeah, exactly. Stroll, Williams F1 debut. Now, attrition in Australia is tough because up until 2019, it was the first race of the season. But P7 downwards, finishing a lap down. Seb won the race in the Ferrari by 10 seconds over Hamilton. So the turns have tabled a little bit. What else? We got Australia 2018, new driver debut. Who was it?
Chuck.
Yeah.
Our good friend Chuck.
I feel so old, man. He shows up in a Sauber in 2018. That's not that long ago. My back hurts. Seriously.
Your back hurts because you carry this podcast.
No. But 2018 was also the first year of Drive to Survive.
Oh, right. Listen, pre-warning you now, listeners, buckle in because this is going to turn into a Blake rant. Blake, take it away.
So anyway, 2017 was my last trackside season, but the person who replaced me at the track, they were having a baby. So I did Melbourne that year, which was great because I took my bicycle out and probably did about 200 kilometers in a couple days before the race, which was a lot for me because I was really unfit. And that's when the whole 30 seconds debacle happened. So in the season 1 trailer, there's a clip of somebody, there's Simon Rennie standing on the grid with his clipboard looking at Daniel's car. There's me saying 30 seconds on the radio. And then later in the episode, they just cut to some shots in like, I don't know, Barcelona of Hugh in the garage. Just like, you rats. That was me. So fine. I hate it here.
And you didn't get your royalties or anything, did you, mate?
No, they didn't even say thank you. They didn't even say thank you. But,
fuck Netflix. Fuck your Drive to Survive. Fuck you cancelling 1899.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Netflix,
you
called.
rats. I haven't watched this. Have you watched Drive to Survive this season? I didn't watch it.
I've watched some of it, and I think maybe we should probably continue to watch the season, and then when we got that stupid 4-week break in a couple of weeks' time, maybe we can do a special episode slagging off DTS.
Anybody down for that? I'm down.
Yeah.
So to finish off the despair of 2018, Vettel leads Hamilton and Ferrari in the championship. The top 14 finish on the final lap, but there's still 5 DNFs. I can't believe some nerd with a beard in the Twitch chat just gifted a tier 1 sub to Netflix. I am absolutely dying. Oh my God, brother. Thank you for the gifted sub.
People are on audio only. I'm just off in the corner of the room just fucking pissing myself over this.
Oh my God. The nerd with the beard, brother, I appreciate you. But Netflix, bring back 1899 and we might get some more gifteds in here, all right?
Yeah,
right.
Netflix, fuck off.
All right, 2019, what we got, bro?
That's when Chuck was in Ferrari.
Yep, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
He's been beaten to death by Ferrari
a hard 4 years.
This dude's a bit of a weapon. He spent 1 year in the Sauber, and then he rocks up to Ferrari. We also had the bonus point introduction for fastest lap in 2019. I didn't even remember when we did that.
I mean, I thought it was a little longer ago than that, 2019. But yeah, cool.
Yeah,
cool. I like that. I think that's a good addition.
I like it too, especially when teammates try to take the fastest lap off of each other, and then the internet divides itself. And the drama. I mean, come on, that wasn't even drama.
It's just 2 racers trying to get a fastest lap.
I'm into the fastest lap point. I think it's interesting. Bottas beats Hamilton in equal machinery that year as well.
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to know a fun fact? I didn't know about this. Right. How many times has 7-time world champion driver Lewis Hamilton won in Melbourne?
Does he have 5?
2.
Really?
Only 2, yeah.
Oh.
Well, that would have been a lot higher.
Yeah, I thought it would have as well. All right, go on then. What 2 races, do you know?
Oh God, now you're asking me.
Okay, no.
I just read it. I just read it on a website.
Oh, fine. That's what I do with most of my points as well. So we were all the way up to 2019, 2020. You guys remember what happened? That race that year, absolutely lit. Everybody flies out to that event. My better half included. And then somebody from McLaren's team gets the COVID. And
they sneezed.
Yeah, and that's when like everybody was super, super cautious about, we don't know what it was. It's going to destroy the world and it's going to change everybody's lives for the next couple of years. COVID hits, no Grand Prix. 2021, Australia is still quite strict on COVID procedures, no event. 2022, last year, we're freaking back. Tell me about it. How was it?
Well, I was just going to go back a bit and say how much of a fucking shambles the 2020 was because they didn't cancel it until, what was it, like an hour or 30 minutes before FP1?
Oh, yeah. People are at the track,
all
ready to
standing
go.
at the gates, yeah. And they even did the first Maybe it was the Supercars or something.
They did a support event before binning the whole event off.
Yeah.
I did not remember that at all.
Fucking bad.
But like honestly, that was after that. It was great because I spent the next couple years or next couple months in my house streaming Warzone and on Twitch. And if it wasn't for that, I know it was. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I'm looking at the good and the bad. If it wasn't for that, I would probably never be streaming on Twitch or making Formula One content. So when you get lemons, smash them up and drink the sour stuff.
I still had to go to the factory, and I had a special piece of paperwork and everything that says I was authorized to go out my house to work, because that was when we were converting to doing the I've forgotten what they officially called them, but the ventilators they started building. Do you remember when all the teams collaborated on a ventilator? I was a part of that.
That's cool. I was sitting around at my parents playing Warzone 1. OG Warzone. Oh my god, I miss it so much.
There you go.
But
so yeah, that was 2020. 2021, the world is still in turmoil, so we don't go to Australia. 2022, we're back, baby. It's no longer the first round.
Oh yeah, they moved it to where it is now, third slot. It's such a good season opener, though. Bahrain sucks as an opener. I mean, Bahrain's a badass circuit. Don't get me wrong. I like Bahrain, but I just like emotionally, Melbourne's still the first race of the year for me.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
It's just like one of those things. Like Barcelona's race 5, and that's it. Nothing else to discuss.
Chucky Leclerc, pole and win.
WW.
Max DNF.
Fuel system. But Max is 2 DNFs in a row, isn't he?
That's where there's like that really cool photo of him just stepping out of like a Red Bull that's half on fire.
Oh yeah, and probably one of the marshals firing stuff up the tailpipe of the car and ruining the turbo.
Yeah, that was a rough time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was also, I believe, the record for the most points deficit to first place, being nice one. And he won, I think, was it 46 points down? I think that's the record for most points behind and then coming back to win the championship.
That's wacky. Oh,
so there you go.
The tides
of trivia for you there, chat.
The tides of Formula One turning quite quickly. And I don't see them turning like that this year, but it's race 3 again. It's race 3. 46 point deficit being overcome. Mercedes last season finished 4th and 5th, as they did most of the season, pretty consistently actually, 25 seconds behind. And then at the start of last year, like the Ferrari's pace and degradation and everything was awesome. They had a little bit of porpoising present, and we're like, all right, the car's bouncing a bit, but the car was quick at the start of the season, and they undeveloped it throughout the whole season. Leclerc finished 20 seconds ahead of Red Bull, 25 seconds ahead of Mercedes. Youch.
Ay caramba.
So, we've also got a little 2023 Australian Grand Prix Preview. What do we got?
Looking forward. You just have to pretend that means looking forward.
Yeah, so we were in the past. We've progressively gotten closer. Now we stepped into
the future
today. So I completely forgot that they revamped the entire circuit after the COVID break. You know, they got rid of the chicane 910, which is now 910 is the fast left right.
Much better for it, I think.
I like it. I've definitely not been playing it on my sim rig for a couple afternoons, getting everything dialed in. It's a fun track. It's a super cool track. A lot of flow. That section is rapid fast.
Rapido, yeah.
But
so some good changes, I believe.
But they also changed something else, and they kind of went back on it. Now we've gone back. So last year we had four DRS zones, and one of the DRS zones, the one in question that we'll talk about, was into the very, very super fast left right turn 910 now. After Friday, they're like, you know what? We're gonna get rid of that. It's dangerous. I'm like, okay, I could see that. And then this year they're like, yeah, we're putting it back in. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, maybe that's the.
I don't think it's. I reckon it's going to be another fucking scenario of last year. Yeah, they'll do like practice 1 and 2, then say, you know what, we're getting rid of it. It's too dangerous.
Fair enough. Oh well, it's back.
That's my theory anyway.
So yeah, so we've basically got 2 DRS detection zones, one at the start of the first straight and one out of, was it 6 or 7 into the fast section, and then 2 DRS sections following that. So 2 detections with 2 activation zones each. 58 lap race. We've got C2, 3, and 4. 1 step from the hard, or 2 steps from the hardest compounds now, because we now have a C0. It's the same allocation as they had last year. I got some bad news.
Oh, what?
Well, this is another low degradation 1-stopper, I reckon. So
you think it's just going to be a boring 1-stop?
I hope not. I hope not.
I will put on my hat, optimist hat, and say that in the past, Australia has thrown up some weird results. Cars that have looked strong in Australia have looked shit everywhere else.
Haas a couple years in a row.
Yeah, I don't think that means Red Bull are going to magically end up 6th and 7th or anything like that, but perhaps it might mess around with the order a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that. But I think we get accused of being Red Bull apologists and biased and shit like that. But at the same time,
yeah, and I won't apologize for it.
I won't apologize for it either, because they paid my mortgage for a number of years, and you just buy their drinks. But
they did really good catering.
Yeah, exactly. Fed me. But that doesn't make any of our points less bad. All I'm trying to say is I don't enjoy seeing the Red Bulls run off in 1-2 it. I'd love to see, I want to see Hamilton, I want to see Russell, I want to see Leclerc. I'm not sure we'll see Sainz in there, but if we do see him, I hope he can fight too. I get it. And it's more interesting for everybody else because we can focus on the interesting battles instead of making up all this drama to traumatize and hurt ourselves because we have that empty hole from a boring 1-stop in our lives.
Yeah, it's hard to make content for a podcast when the same team are doing 1-2 every week.
We could come up with...
I don't have it in me to do this every week.
No, not if this keeps happening. And if this keeps happening, it's Mercedes' fault for not building a faster car this year. This is on you.
Fix your fucking car. Listen, I've got a great plan, right? If they 1-2, right, the entire first half of the season,
we'll make it fun somehow.
Yeah, and if you're listening and you're a Mercedes fan or an Aston fan or whatever, here's what you got to do. You got to tag Red Bull Racing on Twitter and say, hey, could you rehire Dan and Blake? Because when you were there, you weren't winning. Get us our job back and we will destroy an exit from the inside.
Imagine Dan to be the first person to get a call from HR when he's not even employed by the company.
Exactly. I'm just waiting for my cease and desist letter.
Oh my goodness. So, yeah, expecting a 1-stop with low deg. I hope it doesn't mean what I think it means. Now, here's something I heard a lot of people saying on the Twitter nets from the experts, and I was like, that's interesting, and it does have a little bit of meat to it, but people are saying, because now there's apparently is it Gary Anderson or somebody else who's coined Red Bull's super effective top speed, the triple DRS?
Yeah, I saw it, and like the majority of things on Twitter, I just decided that this is bollocks and I would ignore it.
This ain't the one, mate. Ain't no way. But
I'm not sure how a rear diffuser can be a part of DRS, but sure, whatever. And there's aero people out there that probably know more than me, so go for it.
Yeah, but I don't know the answer to this. But looking at the data, it wasn't too dissimilar to what Ferrari had a couple of years ago when they were the super slippy car. But I think the Red Bull's just a pretty efficient car. But they do have a reasonably powerful DRS. Now, the DRS effect does vary from wing level to wing level, so it's not always the same amount. But, you know, people like Red Bull are going to have a huge advantage in the race because of their super powerful DRS. And then my first response to that is...
Advantage locked in for years?
No, who the fuck are Red Bull going to have the DRS on? They're going to be 20 seconds in front of everybody. They get it DRS off of each other and just like, oh, let's swap.
Yeah, synchronized slipstreams.
I don't see it. But the DRS will be a effect which teams will be using to affect the pecking order and qualifying, like to for a performance point of view. But it's not like they just have an efficient car. I think that's as simple as it. I don't see the Red Bull, particularly unless one of them is out of position or coming through traffic. I don't see the Red Bull and DRS factoring as a differentiator.
The old shake and bake technique.
Yeah, when they upshifted to ninth gear. Hopefully nobody finds ninth gear this weekend. Slush box.
We're going to have Hugh Bird on the pit wall trying to explain to Checo what shake and bake is as he's going down the straight.
I remember a story from a couple of years ago, and I wasn't there, but it was a Hugh story, and Hugh's performance engineer on Max's car at this point in time, and he asked one of the Honda engineers, he's like, I can't remember what the guy's name was, he's a Japanese engineer, and he said, can we have a couple more laps of full beans? And the guy goes, I'm sorry, Hugh, what is full beans? Because he obviously didn't get connection to it doesn't make any sense, like, full beans. Yeah, okay, I'm translating that from English to Japanese, all of the beans. Like, what we're talking about race cars, not edible things.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good sayings in the paddock that don't really translate well outside the paddock. My favorite is P0.
Yeah.
So P0, like when P1 is when the electronics are on in the car, P2 is when you're like starting it or it's running, and then P0 is like where everything's off, power, everything. And if you've gone out drinking a little bit too heavy the night before, and you come in the garage the next morning and someone looks at you and goes, you all right? You just say, no, mate, I'm P0.
Yeah. That means the lights are off, nobody's home.
Yeah.
Full nothing. Oh my God. Oh. Yeah, but that's that. You know what time it is, dude?
What time is it?
I think it's time for... Is it Random Fandom?
Random Fandom.
We need to add an applause track at the end as well. Come on,
shit,
for next week.
Yeah.
That was pretty good though. If you're new,
it will evolve as the year progresses.
These are getting better and better. So Dan has just jazzed up the Random Fandom soundbite, and it's getting better and better. That's an absolute bop. If we have any producers, can we get somebody to do an edit to that, like some sick beat? That'd be awesome. But anyway, tell everybody about Random Fandom, because this is your baby.
My baby, yeah. To spice it up a little bit, I thought for every race weekend, we're going to spin a magic wheel, which we are now into race 3, and the magic wheel still hasn't actually arrived yet, so we're doing it virtually. But we get a team selected at random, right? And we have to do like a little book report on them in our post-race review. And to defeat the accusations of bias, we take away Red Bull and AlphaTauri out of the draw.
Oh, we have removed them.
Yeah. Oh, did you not know that?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't realize.
They're never in the draw, right? Just to spice it up, because we need to appeal to everyone. So yeah. So there you go. Who would you like to spin first? Do you want to spin for you, or do you want to spin for me?
You can spin me first this weekend, right round like a record.
I'll spin
right round,
you, baby. When
is that wheel showing up, bro?
It will. Oh, you got my last week, Aston Martin.
Okay, I could do with that. I'm looking forward to Aston Martin having a pretty strong Melbourne. I'm not sure if it'll be as strong as the last two, but we wait and see.
It'll be interesting to see, won't it? What about me? Who have I got?
Spin it.
Spin it, baby.
That's Mario. Shit.
Yeah, close enough. Oh,
who you got?
I have got Alpine.
L Plan. Are they going to stop sandbagging yet, you reckon?
Now I've got them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to send a message to Otmar. Like, listen, Otmar, you fucking prick. Right? Turn the engines up to 11. You fucking... I know where you live, and I do know where he lives, actually. So there you go. I'm going to go around there and egg his house. I'm going to do a Lawny.
Lawny. Mate, I'm pretty sure the new gaff's in like some gated unit. Maybe like on the...
Yeah, I've got a 4x4 though, so gates are merely an obstacle for
exactly.
a 4x4.
Send it, Barry!
Ramming speed.
Hit him with the Lonnie. Oh, mate. Imagine. Hey, I wonder if we could get somebody to do it into a vote, and if they lose the vote, we can Lonnie on their property without legal action.
You think someone is willingly going to allow us to do a Lornie?
If they lose a strong bet, yeah. I don't see it happening, honestly.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think where's the best place to do a Lornie. I know Christian and Adrian have got gates, which is a shame. But Adrian's got a lovely garden. That would do some wicked. You could do some wicked Lornies in that. And he's got an RB7 in his garage, isn't he?
Yeah.
You reckon we could break in there, get the RB7 and do a Lornie in that?
No. Yeah, I don't see that happening, but yeah. Anyway.
There you go.
So that is the Australian Grand Prix preview. We'll have another episode on Monday next week, a week from today. But also, I don't know if you're doing any streaming this weekend, but I'm going to be streaming Friday UK afternoon. I'll do an FP1, FP2 analysis, quick stream. Maybe it'll be like a 30-minute breakdown of what happened in FP1, FP2. And it's Friday. I might play some Tarkov or play some Euro Truck Simulator and smash a couple beers or some F1. Who knows?
Oh yeah. Okay. Maybe we'll do like a dual Euro Truck Simulator beer and trucker cap stream.
Yeah, I got a trucker cap. I got a Red Bull one, and I got a one from one of my favorite breweries, brother. I'm gonna drive fast, 100 kilometers an hour, 12 speed, hyperglide transmission.
A virtual 18-wheeler Lornie.
Yeah, bro, we're doing it. Qualifying, I'm getting up early. I'm going to be live an hour before qualifying and an hour before the race on Saturday and Sunday. And then everything else, if you miss any of that stuff, it's going to be on Brrrake Live on YouTube. So that's my new second channel where all the live stream stuff ends up. So it's not on the main channel. So Brrrake on YouTube, Brrrake Live on YouTube, and then Engine Mode 11 on YouTube. Dan's getting back into it. I can feel it. He's coming. Content man. He's back.
Yeah. I might do... Maybe we'll do some open lobbies on F1 2022 at Melbourne just to get us in the spirit.
On the old Twitch stream.
Yeah, on Twitch. So it's cross-play now. So if you got F1 2022... I don't know what that just... Did you get a load of that in your ear?
I heard something.
Something just started playing in the background on my computer. There you go. What was I saying? Yes, F1 2022 is cross-play, so it doesn't matter if you got it on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, whatever. We might do some open lobbies. We did some of them the other day at Zandvoort, and it was fucking chaos. So yeah.
Rock and roll. And we asked the Twitter Q&A for something, and nobody really came back to us. So we'll get back to you guys next week, maybe with a little Q&A after the Australian Grand Prix. You got anything else tonight, brother?
No, I just want to say Haru. Apparently that's Australian for cheerio.
Nice.
Big up Steve Irwin. You are missed dearly.
Local butcher. I'm going to go to my local butcher tomorrow and get a beef rib, which I'm going to cook on Thursday.
Throw some shrimps on that barbie.
Yes, brother.
Do a Lornie to your most hated enemy. You've got my permission.
Toot.
Yeah, so there you go.
All right.
Fuck off.
Have a good one. We'll see you later.